I'm Trevor Koverko. I'm the CEO of Polymath, and my gateway drug in this space was, even though I was originally a Silicon Valley guy, I started a couple companies down in the Valley, I was an economics geek as well, and that was kind of my introduction to the space, was the Austrian School of Economics, which, as a lot of you know, is kind of the underpinning of this whole movement, of the whole ethos. So that's kind of what got me interested in the space, and I kind of quickly moved from just learning about it to taking action. I was involved in the first wave of ICOs. I remember it was 2013, 2014 when Mastercoin was coming out, then MadeSafe Coin and Factum, and I was kind of advising and sponsoring and investing in those projects. And I kind of transitioned from them and had another good luck series of events where, being from Toronto, I got to meet Vitalik and the Ethereum founders, and my education in this space continued. And after advising and sponsoring that project, it allowed me to give back, and I started investing in kind of the infrastructure layers of the early equity businesses like Shapeshift. I was a seed investor, and CryptoKit, which became Jax. So that was kind of my education, and I think that helps make me uniquely qualified to help solve this next wave of ICOs that we think is coming to the blockchain, which we'll talk about in a second. So to take a step back, we kind of look at this whole marketplace as being delineated in between two tokens. We've talked about this a bit so far at this conference. You have protocol tokens or app tokens. These are app coins or utility tokens like Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you have security tokens. So these are asset-backed tokens where you expect some kind of profit or capital gain, is the best way I can describe it. And these are projects like Blockchain Capital. They kind of blazed the trail here. Brock spearheaded this whole movement. And this is kind of the beachhead that I think is emerging the next tidal wave of tokens. Okay, we got the wrong deck here, but I had a whole thing on the SEC, but is anyone not afraid of the SEC at this point? No, that guy, you should be. So yeah, the SEC isn't kidding around, and we kind of have to, at this point, comply with what they're doing. So this is the key slide for us. We think that right now, even though security tokens only represent a small sliver of the total token universe, that paradigm is going to shift. And in the next decade, a lot of really smart people think that security tokens, that is like tokens backed by real assets, is going to dwarf application tokens. And I know the panel was talking about predicting, where the price of Bitcoin and the raises everyone's going to do. I think you have to split it up in between app coins and securities coins. And this is what we see happening. There's an emergence of securities. And we think it's happening now. Like every day with our project, we see real businesses, real funds, real securities stampeding towards the blockchain. It's not just me. A lot of really smart academics and business leaders. It's kind of cliche at this point. Everybody's realizing they're getting disrupted by tokens, and they're all trying to join the party now. It's an important question to ask why everyone's interested in tokens for their securities, and I think it's simple. Tokens just function better, or rather securities function better as tokens. They are always open 24 hours a day. They're completely accessible to 2 billion people that don't have bank accounts, don't have access to Western capital markets, and they're faster. There's less transaction fees, the settlements are faster. But with all that said, I think I've learned that there's actually one reason that trumps them all. And even though businesses love to say they love crypto, what do businesses actually really like? I'm asking, what do they actually like? What do businesses want? Money. Yeah, they want money. They want a crypto fundraise. And a lot of projects in this space that are trying to tokenize assets, I think are missing the point. It's not about chasing a problem, it's about solving problems. And these funds want money. They want to go on shopping sprees. So the solutions have to help them raise crypto capital so they can liquidate it and go on a shopping spree and buy real estate or invest in startups or whatever it is they do. But here's the problem. Launching security tokens is hard. And there's a reason only a few exist to this day. It is a painstakingly, excruciatingly difficult process. There's the tech challenge of getting a functioning security token that acts like a security. There's the legal challenge of getting it compliant in correct jurisdictions and global regulatory bodies around the world. And then even when you solve those two problems, you have the biggest problem of all that I'm sure Brock would back me up is how the hell do you get liquidity on your security token when no exchanges want you to get listed? That's the big hairy problem, is that even if you launch the best securities token on planet Earth, no one's going to list you, you're a zombie coin. How can you overcome that? So I tried to launch a securities token. This was the genesis of Polymath, and it was the hardest thing I've ever tried to do. And it made me realize that we were probably solving the wrong problem, that instead of like launching a micro private equity fund that I was running at the time, maybe we should transition into building a platform that makes it easy for the next 10,000 security token projects to launch on top of. And that was the genesis of Polymath. And Polymath is really a one-stop shop for securities token. We help with the technical challenge of launching a compliant security token. We help with the legal structuring. You know, are you offshore? Do you take US investors? If you don't, how do you block them? All of these questions. And then finally, liquidity. We help all of our security tokens on our platform instantly get liquidity. I think the best way to think about Polymath is what Ethereum did for application tokens, Polymath is aiming to do for securities tokens. I know Vitalik, and he wasn't passionate about helping businesses make money. And that's what we're passionate about. And we're trying to figure out how to extend Ethereum to make it more usable for non-technical businesses and funds to launch projects on top of. We're also launching our own standard, which means if you're a Polymath issuer launching on the platform, we confine you to have fair token mechanics and fair allocations and fair vesting schedules. So all of the investors on the platform know that they're not getting screwed by bad economics. The Polymath stack, I don't have too much time, so I'll focus on the key points. The bottom two layers, 3 and 4, are what we're really excited about. Our legal layer is powered by a global network of crowdsourced legal professionals. We like to call it GitHub for lawyers, and it's pretty much the same concept where through our token incentivization model, legal professionals from around the world are incentivized to commit statutes and updated laws to our repository. So in effect, we have this evolving, growing, breathing legal database so all of our issuers can benefit from the crowd. Our exchange layer is broken down into 2 components. We have in the works our own securities token only exchange. We'll be the first security tokens only exchange on the planet. And the reason we're uniquely qualified to solve this hard problem is because we have all the data. We know of all of our investors, we know all of our issuers, and we can use that data to build a walled garden and whitelist and blacklist certain Ether addresses to make it regulated by the right people. The token itself plays a very vital role in this process. The Polymath token incentivizes all of our stakeholders to come to the same goal. This is a big, hairy problem that we're trying to solve, and we need a lot of smart stakeholders to work together. So those stakeholders are the investors, people that want to diversify a portfolio of asset-backed tokens, issuers who are trying to launch projects and raise money, as well as developers and legal delegates who are help sustaining the platform, and third-party integrators as well. So we're all trying to get everybody aligned, and that's why our token is so important. A good way to look at this is the next generation of security tokens. We're trying to like BCAP launched the revolution, and we're just trying to add to it by breaking down the barriers to do it for normal people. Guys like Brock and the Stevens brothers who blazed the trail have lots of resources and lots of skills available, and we're trying to make it even easier for average people to launch securities tokens as well. A good way to visualize our vision for this is to look at the market cap of app tokens. That's the chart on the left. And if you kind of look at it, it was Bitcoin, where it spiked when it launched. Then you had Mastercoin, MadeSafe Coin. But it was Ethereum that launched that was the inflection point for the hockey stick. And after Ethereum was launched, there was a flood of new market cap coming to this ecosystem. And I think our biggest insight to date that we don't hear a lot of people talking about is the security token world is going through the exact same transformation right now. It's just a couple years behind. Right now, you have a few securities tokens, successful ones like BCAP, and Joe Lubin did a securities token. And the market is begging for a platform that makes it easy to launch the next wave of security tokens. They need another hockey stick, and that's what Polymath is aiming to do. Become a platform that breaks down the barriers to launch the next wave of security tokens, just like Ethereum broke down the barriers to launch application tokens. We've been busy, and even though our product isn't fully launched, that hasn't stopped us from ICOing securities. And our first issuer is a venture capital fund called Summerhill Ventures. They're launching their next fund called Monage. It's run by Gary Rubinov and Jeff Pulver. Jeff Pulver is the inventor of voice over IP, which is the protocol layer we all use for internet phone calls. And Gary is the #1 VC in Canada based on performance in the last 10 years. They've announced they're raising a $65 million fund, all from their own LPs, so this is no crypto money needed. And they're launching it on Polymath. So we're really excited to announce them as our first partner. And I've also strategically picked other verticals, other types of securities to launch so we can show the world that it's not just funds or VCs that the Polymath platform can launch. We're also doing a real estate investment trust, a private equity company, and a royalty exchange company called royaltyexchange.com, which is a 9-figure venture-backed music royalty business. Definitely got the wrong deck here. That's a little bit more on me I was going to talk about earlier. Some of the partners I want to acknowledge for helping us on our journey so far. Chris Hauser, my co-founder. He's one of a top lawyer from Toronto who got the crypto bug and has been doing profitable crypto initiatives for the last half a decade. We've also worked with Stan from formerly Argon Group. He was the CEO, and he helped launch BCAP, the first securities token. So he was instrumental in the first wave of Polymath and help architecting it. We're also working with Perkins Coie, which is kind of the high-powered crypto law firm. We're working with the top group within Perkins Coie. They've actually supported our project by purchasing the token as well. And our advisors, that list is a little outdated, but guys like Anthony Diorio, you'll see Ethereum kind of sprinkled all over our project because of my relationships with them and how much we believe in the technology. We're very thankful for kind of Eric Voorhees from Shapeshift, who supported the project. We'll be launching on Shapeshift as well. Matt Rozak, who's kind of a Swiss Army knife in the crypto space. And Steven Narioff, also from Ethereum, who invented the concept of gas, something that we'll be using as well. Okay, well, we got through the wrong deck there, but thanks, everybody. We got our booth downstairs. For any other questions, we'd love to talk to you and launch the next wave. Thanks.